All right, let's jump right in. We're all looking for ways to get safer, more sustainable food, right? Well, one of the biggest puzzles we're trying to solve is how to use fewer antibiotics in farming. Today, we're going to look at one of the most exciting alternatives out there, the incredible story of the acidifier.
And really, this is the big question. It's on the minds of farmers, scientists, and honestly, it affects all of us. You've probably heard about antimicrobial resistance, and because of that, the race is on to find smart solutions that keep animals healthy and our food supply safe.
So, where do we look for an answer? Well, say hello to acidifiers. At their core, these are just organic acids, simple compounds you find in nature. But they have this amazing ability to go to war with harmful bacteria. Now, the idea itself isn't brand new, but how we use them, that has gone through an absolutely incredible evolution.
Okay, let's rewind to the very beginning. The first crack at this was just beautifully simple. I mean, the design was brilliant, but it had one giant, fatal flaw that almost tanked the whole idea right from the start. So, the first attempt used these simple, pure organic acids. We're talking about things like formic acid or lactic acid. These are natural compounds, and we've known forever that they're pretty good at fighting off microbes. The science behind it is actually really clever.
So how does it work? Okay, picture the acid molecule like a tiny little bomb. As long as it's whole, it can sneak right past the bacteria's defenses, its cell wall. But once it's inside, boom! The internal environment causes it to break apart, releasing this acidic payload. It completely scrambles the bacteria's internal systems, shutting everything down and stopping it from making copies of itself. A simple but devastating inside job.
But, and this is a huge but, there was a massive problem with this whole approach. The very thing that made the acids so effective, their ability to break apart, was also their biggest weakness. And it's all because of one incredibly powerful barrier, the animal's stomach. And that's really the heart of it. An animal's stomach is just this ridiculously acidic place. So these simple organic acids would get in there and poof, they were neutralized almost instantly. They never even got a chance to make it to the intestines, which is exactly where you find nasty bacteria like Salmonella and E. coli. They just couldn't get to the battlefield.
So Generation 1 was a bust where it counted. But that failure led scientists to ask a much better question. Okay, so how do we build a shield for these things? How do we sneak them past the stomach so they can actually do their job?
And the first clever solution they came up with was Generation 2, turning the acids into salts. Basically, by combining the organic acid with a base, they could create a much more stable compound. This new acid salt was way tougher and much more likely to survive that harsh trip through the stomach.
And guess what? It was a huge improvement. With this salt method, about 80% of the acidifier could actually make it past the stomach. I mean, that's a major leap forward, but you're still losing 20%, so not quite perfect yet. So the next jump was Generation 3, coated acids. The idea here was even smarter. Let's take those improved acid salts and give them like a suit of armor. Scientists started microencapsulating them in a tiny layer of fat, usually palm oil. You can think of it like a special delivery capsule, totally stomach-proof.
And it worked. Oh my gosh, did it work. This protective coating meant that 100%, all of the acidifier, could arrive safely in the intestines, ready to go to work. The delivery problem was officially solved.
But you know what? The story doesn't stop there, because solving that delivery problem opened the door for something truly revolutionary. The fourth generation, the one we're at now, isn't just about protecting the acid, it's about making it smarter. It's about making it way more efficient and a whole lot more powerful.
This generation is built on something called glycerides. Now, instead of just coating the acid, scientists actually chemically bonded it to a glycerol molecule. And here is the genius part. Bacteria need glycerol. They see it as an energy source, as food. They don't see this new compound as a threat at all. It's the ultimate Trojan horse.
And this changes everything. See, all the earlier generations had to be kind of forced or pushed into the bacteria, but lysosides, they are actively pulled in by the bacteria themselves. The microbe sees it as lunch, invites it inside, and willingly kickstarts its own destruction. It's brilliant.
And the benefits are just incredible. For starters, these things are odorless and they aren't corrosive, so they're way safer for people to handle. They're naturally protected from the stomach acid, and because they're so good at getting inside the microbes, they can be up to 30 times more potent than those original simple acids. On top of all that, they have other benefits too,
like being effective against certain viruses and even helping to promote a healthy gut. It's like a multi-tool for animal wellness.
So, when you look back, you can see this amazing path of progress. Each new generation was a direct response to the problems of the last one. It's just a perfect case study of scientific problem-solving in action.
I mean, just look at this journey. Stomach survival went from practically 0 to 100%. The place where the action happens moved from just the feed all the way to inside the microbe itself. The potency, the power just exploded by up to 30 times. And along the way, all those practical problems, like being corrosive or smelly, were just engineered right out of the picture. It's just a fantastic story of targeted innovation.
The evolution of these acidifiers just goes to show you what's possible when we focus science on finding smart, effective alternatives. And it leaves us with a really powerful question to think about. As this technology gets even better, what other incredible innovations are just over the horizon, waiting to help us build a safer, more sustainable food system for all of us?